Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday, March 16th, 2009. We have still a lot of that swell left over that's in the water today from the southern hemisphere, from the Pitcairn Islands that came through. But unfortunately, that looks like it's about as good as it's going to get for a while. Not a whole lot to show you on the models, although I'll get to that in just a second, show you everything that's going on. In a nutshell, not a whole heck of a lot. There's a little bit of stuff that's brewing up in the Gulf, going to bring Northern California some sizable surf, but not looking to come down our way. Also, a little bit of something that's brewing around French Polynesia on the long-range models, but not a very favorable trajectory or large system at that. And then the long-range weather models show what could be some possible troughing coming down our way to bring us some weather toward the weekend, which could also then stir up some wind swell either late in this coming weekend or early next week. So I wanted to show you everything that's going on. This is what's happening right now. Starting out looking at the northern hemisphere, right now this is the current analysis model of the northern hemisphere. There currently is a fetch. It's up and around the Gulf of Alaska. That red dot in the center of it means there's about 20-some foot seas, but that's very far to the north of Southern California, to a very steep trajectory, and that's going to be moving in towards the Oregon-Washington coast. And as we look out over time in the models, we can actually see that occur. That fetch just wants to butt up against the high latitudes up there around the Washington coast and all, not really throwing anything down our way. Just nothing favorable. And that's going to be because of high pressure pushing that up into that region. If we look toward the southern hemisphere, we can see, though, a storm system that was forming around French Polynesia. That actually broke off Antarctica here recently. This is the 36-hour projection, showing that we'd get probably about 24-foot seas out of that. It's not moving in a very favorable trajectory for Southern California, but some swell should be thrown our way. We'd probably see something around the 26 from this, but nothing to get all too excited about, but still some waves would be thrown our way. For the near term, it's all going to be a matter of weather and how that's going to influence everything. Low pressure troughing showing red here on this model, currently staying far to the north as high pressure ridging builds out from the south. And that's good news for winds. It's not so much good for news for wind swell, as there wouldn't be anything getting close to our area, but that's kind of nice since we have some nice long period southern hemisphere moving in. We start taking a look at the models over the next couple of days. We can see that troughing, that red, would be pushed farther to the north. And of course, this means that we've got clearer skies moving into our area. High pressure ridging would be dominating, and that would continue for the next couple of days. In fact, we can take a look here. This is 48 hours out. Still looking at pretty good weather conditions when it comes around Wednesday. Then we go a little bit farther out in time. This is looking 72 hours out. We can see that another trough wants to start bearing down from the Gulf of Alaska. That, over the next few days, toward the end of the week, could start pushing some weather toward our way. In either case, we can see that that trough, looking out now at about a 108-hour model, that trough would probably gain a lot of strength, a pretty hefty low, and that's shown by the colors not just red, but more of an orange and yellow at the very base of that trough. So that could stir up a lot of winds. We could actually see more wind swell out of that, and that'd be filling in late this coming weekend. If it does, though, it's almost certain that we'd get some weather and wind problems with that as well. So that's how things are shaping up right now. The southern hemisphere swell we have right now, about the cleanest and biggest we're going to see for a little while. As that starts to fade around midweek, a little bit of northwest wind swell moves in, but not a whole heck of a lot. That's going to stay mostly to the north. And then it looks like we might see some wind swell toward the weekend, and that would, though, maybe have a little bit of weather and wind problems associated with it if that trough does form, as models are showing. The next one would be a little small north, the little New Zealand swell coming in, a little southwest around the 23rd. I wouldn't count on much out of that one. That's something I reported on last week. And then the next possible one from the southern hemisphere, that French poly system, bringing us something possibly around the 26th. But it doesn't look to be all that sizable, but still probably be throwing some waves our way. I got to keep an eye on it, though, and see how it all develops. So if you want to check out all the ETAs, wind, weather, tide, and more, just check out my SoCal Surf Report at wetsand.com.